Good Wednesday morning to you. It's nice to be with you today. I'm Heather Brown, and this is CBSN Minnesota's morning update. So be sure to grab your coffee, put a little milk and sugar in that. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up in a second. But first, we want to get you up to speed on the news and the weather. It's going to be a rainy one today. Riley tells us dry here in the metro right now, but expect that rain to come through on and off throughout the day. It's going to be a warm one, though, but do not forget that raincoat or forget that umbrella throughout the day. All right, let's get to this. There's a new addition at Starbucks, proving to be perhaps a little too popular. So last month, the coffee giant added oat milk to its menu. But already, some of the fans say that they just haven't been able to get it. The coffee giant says that some of the locations are out of oat milk. They won't tell us exactly how widespread the problem is. So we want to know, what are you putting in your coffee? Do you like the oat milk? Do you like almond milk? Do you like just black coffee? Do you do sugar, sweetener? I'm not a coffee drinker, so this is hard for me to talk about. I just like my plain old black tea there, but I'd love to hear what you're doing. And can you taste a difference between oat milk or almond milk or soy milk or any of this stuff? If you're watching here on Facebook, love it if you left a comment, and we will read through a few of those in just a moment. Cheers, though. We are headed into day 8 of the Derek Chauvin trial, and this morning a use of force expert from the Los Angeles Police Department will be back on the stand. Sergeant Jody Steiger was the first of a series of paid experts that are asked to testify on behalf of the state. He was asked his opinion of George Floyd's arrest, to which Steiger said that when Floyd was initially resisting getting into the car, but that officers should have backed off once they got George Floyd onto the ground, and then he stopped resisting. And we also heard from more MPD officers, including the head of training. He said that Chauvin's technique is not approved nor taught by the MPD. There's a new fence around the state capitol. It's meant to protect the Twin Cities in more ways than one. So this new fence replaces the one that went up last May to protect the Capitol following the riots following the death of George Floyd. Now, the state says that the new barriers require fewer officers to guard the Capitol, which then frees them up to respond to other things. Both of those fences will wind up costing taxpayers more than $200,000. A Minnesota man refuses to take down a Trump 2020 flag that is in violation of the city's ordinance. So Jay Johnson is flying this massive custom-made flag on a crane at his construction business in Buffalo. It's 50 by 30 feet. He says it costs $1,000. The Buffalo city attorney says that a flag that big does require a license, but Jay has not applied for it.
I am prepared to get the fines, ultimately get cuffed, go to jail, whatever. Flag is staying up.
So the city says it's determining how to move forward with enforcement. Officials have gotten 100 or so comments so far about that flag. It's been split pretty evenly between positive and negative. Storm damage is forcing some Minnesotans to wait for their COVID-19 vaccine. The Vikings training facility in Eagan serves as a vaccine clinic, but the team says that storms on Monday night damaged it. Now, everyone who had a vaccine appointment there today will have to reschedule. The health department is reaching out to people who have been impacted. They're also searching for an alternate site. The Vikings tell us that part of the roof on their indoor practice field was damaged. The race to get Americans vaccinated comes as new cases have risen for 4 straight weeks, including right here in Minnesota. Our 7-day positivity rate is now 6%. The health department says it has jumped a full percentage point in just 1 week. The positivity rate, this is going up in all age groups, and the number of COVID patients in the hospital is up 40% just in the last 10 days. The state has administered nearly 3 million doses of COVID vaccines so far. So we're only 1 day away from the Twins' home opener at Target Field, and if you are one of those 10,000 fans that's heading inside the park, you are going to notice some changes this year. All the tickets are digital. You will need to wear your mask at the ballpark. Seating pods will be in effect, so keep fans spread out there. And this year, you should keep your cash at home. You can order food through an app. You'll just get a text message when it's ready to be picked up. There will be limited options at the concessions this year, but the Twins tell us don't worry, all of their most popular items are still on the menu. And if you're headed to the Twin Stadium, you might be using a little ketchup. That's the latest consumer good, apparently to be squeezed by the pandemic. The most popular brand, Heinz, says it can't keep up with the demand for those individually wrapped packets. So this shortage began when people started ordering more takeout meals from restaurants. And Heinz says it will increase its condiment production by about 25% this year. We're also getting some new details on Harry and Meghan's first project for Netflix. It's called Heart of Invictus. It's described as a docuseries about competitions at the Invictus Games. And Harry founded that event back in 2014. It features athletics for wounded and injured service members. The series is set to follow athletes and organizers on the road to next year's games. A release date has not yet been announced. Let's head on back to today's talker. We were talking about oat milk and Starbucks, and all you are going up and ordering the oat milk in your coffee, so Starbucks can't even keep it in anymore. So we want to know, how do you take your coffee? And Danielle tells us, yep, a little sugar, a little dash of milk in my coffee, please. That sounds pretty good. Oh, Diana, I'm strictly a black coffee person. That's what I grew up with. That's what I like. I keep the cream on hand for others, though. It's very kind of you, Diana. I want to hear about your oat milk. Sean, Truvia, really? Truvia and half, more half than half. Sean, I wouldn't have pegged you for a Truvia guy, but I agree. I love that stuff. He's not a sugar guy, he's telling me in my ear. Amanda says, we do dark coffee with French vanilla creamer. Must be our brand of creamer. Ooh, really? Or you can't even tell the difference, huh? I wonder if Amanda uses the fancy stuff, or she just got the plain old vanilla creamer. Regular clean cream all the way, says Katie. I'm not getting a lot of oat milkers here, or soy milk, or almond milk. We like our traditional coffee in this group of folks. Without a doubt, I do use creamer, says Bradley, preferably the French vanilla or the hazelnut. Ooh, well, like a little mocha in there. Makes it taste a little bit more like hot chocolate. Jackie's right there with me. I like s'mores flavored coffee with a little caramel, sugar-free syrup. Yum. I mean, then it gets to be dessert, right, Jackie? At that point, that's where your coffee is. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's fabulous. Thank you, everybody, for sharing with us how you take your coffee. And if you're going out to Starbucks, grab some of that oat milk when you can. That is your morning update from CBSN Minnesota, your only local streaming news source. You can, of course, find us on your devices, download that CBS News app, or just go to WCCO.com. We appreciate you being here with us today. Thanks for watching.